The views, takes and opinions expressed on this show are of the host's own and do not represent the views, takes and opinions of the Main Event Mark, PWPH Wrestling Network and its affiliates. Material and sources mentioned in this episode is for general and commentary purposes only. This episode might include strong language and may not be suitable for children. Listener discretion is advised. Stay safe and stay wrestle everyone. Welcome to the Main Event Mark.
Yes, so welcome to your Unfiltered Tagalog Wrestling Podcast. This is yet another episode of the Main Event Mark Podcast and also the PWPH Main Event Mark. Whatever that is. That's supposed to be the Main Event Bash Awards 2024. This is the part 2 longer special for this type of episodes that we have here on the show. So it's the 5th installment of this series, and so bear with me here. I hope my seat won't fuck up this time around. So thank you very much for listening on this podcast. And if you're first time listener on the podcast, we are doing an annual Main Event Mark Bash Awards since 2020, the inception of the show. And now we are back for its 5th installment of the main event, the PWPH or whatever man yan, the Bash Awards 2024. So we did some adjustments para siguro makapagpahinga pa din ako. And December has been a lot of adjustments to me since nagre-recover pa ako sa sakit ko. So, yun. Luckily, before the end of the year, I was able to release several episodes as we have the fully loaded series. So now, we are now going to have this episodes of the Bash Awards 2024 here on the Main Event Mark Podcast as part of our production here on the PWPH Wrestling Network. So before we continue officially on our podcast this week, so maraming salamat sa lahat ng sumusuporta dito sa PWN, sa PWPH na din, and into this podcast that maraming salamat sa pagsuporta niyo. We are now on the 5th year of this show, and I hope that everything that we love, everything that what we do will continue as we soon going to have this episodes and also reviews then of what we have in wrestling. So bago nga tayo magpatuloy sa ating wrestling talk this week and also our Bash Awards 2024, so let's acknowledge lang some elements of wrestling that we had this week. So yun, may Puso live nung Sunday. So if you want to watch it, you can still watch it on YouTube channel ng Puso Wrestling. So youtube.com/Puso Wrestling FPW, as Tig is always airing every Sundays on Tap Sports and on Blast TV. And they also have this clips that they're releasing every week. As far as we know, they're still on a break. So malalaman natin in the next couple of weeks kung ano yung mga ganap over on FPW. Sa kanila namang mga shows, March 16 is the next DexCon. So if you want to watch DexCon WrestleStorm 2, you can watch DexCon this March 16. May mga details na ilalabas anytime soon. So if you wanted to be updated on DexCon, please follow and support our friends over on DexCon. So that's March 16, 2025. And then si World Underground Wrestling or WU, they're going to have the Master Clash on April 5, 2025. So yun lang muna for the news. So napakabit ko na yung globe at home namin dito sa bahay. So share na rin natin yung news. Globe is actually also part of the offers that Blast TV, also si Blast TV, alam naman po natin, is the official home of the WWE and FPW here in the Philippines. So if you wanted to watch Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and also FPW Stig ahead or after of the airings on YouTube, you can watch all of that on Blast TV and on Tap Sports. So may live po ng Raw, SmackDown, NXT every week habang wala pa tayo sa Netflix. So if you really wanted to watch the weekly shows on Tap Sports at saka on Blast TV. So ba't ko nga ba binanggit na nagpakabit kami ng internet? So si Blast TV is available for free if you have Converge or Globe at Home. So mayroon akong Globe at Home, kakapakabit lang, and maganda doon yung 999 na bago nila, meron na siyang 5 GHz. So that's +1 if you are a fan of Globe, and you can actually use the internet ni Globe sa Netflix or sa kung ano-ano mang mga streaming services, and ang taas ng taas ng smoothness sa internet. So that's 50 megabytes or 50 Mbps na internet, and you can watch your favorite shows smoothly with your Globe at Home sa inyo pong mga internet. Again, that's Blast TV, the official home of professional wrestling here in the Philippines. So, pwede na tayo mag-continue with some wrestling talk. Let's do some roll-up lang on what's happening this week in wrestling. So, start tayo with Raw on Netflix. Raw on Netflix feels very safe. Sa totoo lang. Sobrang safe ng show na to. Wala akong masyadong problema when it comes to the presentation. Wala akong problema because, man, that show was a banger of a presentation to me. And to watch that episode over and over again with the matches that we got on Raw on Netflix is just memorable. Pero as a piece of advice then for people over in WWE, don't hype a weekly show like this again unless it's very important. This episode is very important, so I'll give it a pass. Pero other than this, I hope other episodes of Raw won't be hyped like this, because I would be disappointed for sure if this thing's going to happen again. So start nga tayo with some news. So The Rock appeared on Raw and NXT, and he officially actually wrote himself out of WWE for now, since there will be some retapings for Moana, and hindi na siya magiging part of this year's WrestleMania. We don't know yet ano nga ba yung magiging program niya soon once he came back. Ang dami niya ring tease about it, pero walang malinaw na agenda si The Rock on his promos, especially on Raw on Netflix, kasi puro praises lang yung ginawa niya on Raw on Netflix. If you notice that on the episode of Raw, wala naman siyang sinabi na bad thing or bad take, pero it's just all praising the everyone, the producers, the Netflix officials. Well, we get that, pero other than that, wala naman masyadong storyline na sinabi si Rock, other than he said that Roman is the official tribal chief of the bloodline. So wala tayong masyadong kailangang i-deep dive from his promo. So yun lang yan. So let's continue on what we got. Parang cliche na yung mga promos na to. Parang ang dami din kasi mga distractions that Rock said. So hindi na masyadong importante yun. Hindi na siya masyadong importante i-grade. Hindi na siya masyadong importante i-grade. Note na lang natin that The Rock acknowledged Roman Reigns as the official tribal chief, and he also acknowledged Cody on this segment, specifically this segment. He gave them a credit with no tension, no bullshit, just the acknowledgement of being the WWE champion, which is always a really good idea to me. But storyline wise, it doesn't make sense at all, for sure. So next here is the tribal combat between Roman Reigns and Solo Sikoa. The match was grueling, long as fuck. But there's one thing for sure here. Roman Reigns is the official tribal chief of the bloodline, and there's no turning back this time around. He's now the official tribal chief of the bloodline, and wala tayong magagawa. It's official. So highlights of the match though, KO actually give him some stunner on Roman Reigns, help Solo Sikoa. Then Cody appeared also on the match, saving Roman. And then Satsevab, he speared Solo twice, and that's for the win. So yung match na to medyo slow, pero that's a typical Roman Reigns match that we have, no? Then yeah, that's a really good thing to me. So, magandang detail to kasi we got the top storyline of the WWE for the past 4 years, opening a new era on Netflix. So, it makes sense to me to open like this. It makes sense also to me that they ended this dispute over the Ulafala that Roman is now possessing over Solo Sikoa. So it really makes sense to me that Roman wins, aside from the Netflix rub, the impression to Netflix viewers. It also makes sense that Roman should have the possession of the Ulafala because siya naman talaga yung tribal chief since the beginning. And with that logic, he should protect the Ulafala and not the other way around. So it really makes sense that Roman actually won the match. That's it. Then, few things that we got there. Cena announced that he will compete at the Royal Rumble. So, that's basically the kickoff for his farewell tour. So, AEW is apparently remaking this to Jeff Jarrett. I love Jeff Jarrett, but dude, he will never be John Cena. Trust me. I mean, I love the Sting farewell tour, but Jeff Jarrett over John Cena, you will never make me sold of a Jeff Jarrett world tour. Okay, so John Cena made the announcement that he will compete at the Royal Rumble, and we cannot wait to see what we can do. He teased that he might compete against one of the top contenders, Drew, Logan Paul, Gunther, Cody. Ito basically yung binabato nila Dave Meltzer about lahat yun dinibunk ni Cena all at once. And sabi niya, never say never. Wala namang posible, wala namang imposible in wrestling. Pero tangina, wag niyo ako papangunahan. Yun lang sinasabi niya, wag niyo ako pangunahan because my time is now and their time is now. So you have to adjust everything on what I have used to be and now on the things that I now going to have after of this year with WWE, diba? So it really makes sense to me that Cena actually make this debunk on everything that we are getting with the Dave Meltzers, the PW Insiders, the WrestleBoats, or sino man Poncio Pilato na na naglalabas ng bali-balita ko no na dinibunk na rin ni Cena. So that's a fact for sure. So that's it. So that's basically his entry. So I think it really makes sense that Cena debunked everything about it. And we got also some teasers about Penta. So that's next week or this week on Raw. We should get now Penta. Kasi he got teased during this week's Raw. Si Chad Gable, he wanted some luchador. Ang weird nung impression, ang weird nung pag-open niya, pero it really makes sense that it should be Penta. Wala naman namang ibang luchador na popular sa wrestling ngayon aside from Rey, aside from mga Poncho that we know in the LWO, Fantasma. Yan lang. So, we got Rhea Ripley versus Liv. So, finally, we are able to end this story with Rhea Ripley getting the title back. I hope this will end with this, and it always will end in this format. So I don't care about the critical things that people might say about this match, but this match, in my honest opinion, was a really good match. Not the best match for sure, but Liv and Liv Morgan actually proved that they can sell this feud really well, and I am impressed on both of them because the presentation that we got for this match is actually really good. So Liv Morgan did a really good job overall as Women's World Champion, but since we are now on the Netflix era and we need bigger names to represent the Raw roster, it makes sense that it should be Rhea Ripley. So, logic-wise, that was the best decision we got. It makes sense for sure. That's the best thing that we got. The other thing that we got, I don't see the Undertaker appearance relevant to me. It doesn't make sense. Parang nakigulo lang siya. So, basically, she got Taker's approval. Yan lang yun eh. Wala naman masyadong kailangan i-address dun eh. So, yun lang yan. So, Logan Paul announced during the show that hindi na niya gagawing side hustle ang wrestling. So, he just wanted now to compete. So, that's it. Jey Uso versus Drew. Jey Uso wins. This match, in my opinion, is the least favorite of mine. Hindi ko gusto to. Siguro, hindi lang ako fan of how this got presented to us. I know that Drew is still obsessed with every member of the bloodline, but at this point, can we please move on from the bloodline now? Can we please move on from the bloodline now? We no longer have Solo as the tribal chief. We no longer have other people possessing the tribal chief. So now, can we please now move on from this crap and let it peace? I'm sick of it. I'm starting to sick of it just because Roman and The Rock actually settled their beef. Settled their beef, at least, for now. Pero, I don't think it will end that way. Pero, for now, I hope that will end the Solo versus Roman, the Cody versus the Bloodline thing. I hope this will end anytime soon, for sure. Pero, yun lang muna. So, the match for now, I would say, we understand that Jay is really over, so they let him over. But Drew losing every time to these Bloodline members kinda irritating to me, and I hate it. Then, let's continue. So, Travis Scott, during Jey Uso's entrance, he held him to the ring, and Michael Cole actually announced that the new team of Raw is 4x4. Ito yung isa sa mga unreleased songs daw ni Travis Scott, and now they're using it. Pero I'm glad that the table actually is now reinforced. So, pwede na mag-get silang dalawa. Buti na kaya nilang dalawa yon. So, that's plus. And I think Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, let's give them some props, no, before we move on. So, Pat McAfee and Michael Cole, they did a really good job of presenting this thing in a big way, because this might be the first on Netflix, but they might hook a lot on its first try. Na parang sasabi nila, parang they're trying to let the new viewers or people who is actually catching up for the first time the stories that we are sharing. So that's the same with NXT, the same also with SmackDown recently with Joe Tessitore. Actually, they did a really good job on that. And also, kagaya nga ng sabi ko, parang what I like about WWE compared with AEW this previous year alone is they know how they will share the story. They know how to point out this type of stories that they wanted to tell to us. Unlike in AEW na fuck it. We need to watch all of the 3 shows or 2 just to see what's happening with Jon Moxley and his Death Ratings stable. So, as much as I want to follow AEW and their shit right now, AEW is becoming worse and worse every week, especially with their move to Max. As I discussed on my live episode last Sunday, parang sinabi ko doon that I am growing with the idea of putting AEW programming on Max might be a good idea, but it's not a good long term because it's only available in the US. How about the rest? Diba? So, Max is available already in the Philippines, and I don't get why the Max broadcasts doesn't or has ads. I don't get it. Even if you have this maximum of a streaming plan for Max, we still have ads. I know we still have Thriller TV, or we still have to deal with Thriller TV just to deal with this shit. Like what I am expecting. I'm trying to expecting different when it comes to this streaming deal. So that's why WWE is edging over AEW when it comes to their streaming deal. Partida, wala pa yan sa Pinas. Partida, wala pa yan sa India. So, this might be an interesting few weeks or year actually for the streaming wars between Max and Netflix. And I hope that we can get more gems, we can get more news anytime soon about it. So, we got now the main event, Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. I'm not gonna talk about the Logan Paul bullshit. Eto. So, here's what's funny about me. So, we got Hulk Hogan, a fucking moron, who disrespected his constituents in the United States about his takes on politics, and not only politics, about life. Fucked him up. So that's why he got this boost, specifically here in the city of Los Angeles. And I'm not a fan also of him being a sponsor in this. I mean, let's do some roll call on who's the sponsors there. So we got ano ba tawag dito? The Snickers, yung Saudi. We have Netflix. We have also this beer, the Real American beer shit. The Cricket, 5G, Fortnite, and may isa akong sponsor na hindi ko matandaan. Let me know if ano ba yun. Pero hoax might be the most inappropriate thing on that lineup, because number one, we're trying to cater Raw to a younger audiences, no? We're trying to cater Raw to at least 12 years old and above. So, bakit nga ba pinapainom yun ng beer? We are influencing beer to the audience. You can promote that on shows like AEW, because at least doon we know the age of the demo that they have on their programmings. Unlike in WWE, we don't have see the DraftKings thing because it's a old thing. Then as well, also this beer. It's kind of weird to me why we are getting beer sponsors on a PG show. Pero please guys, I'm really good with the idea of not putting DraftKings in the WWE programming. Good ako dyan. Para wala rin ma-influence na sigulero sa US with WWE things. Correct me if I'm wrong on that. Pero feeling ko meron din na WWE. Hindi lang nila pinopromote kasi for all talaga ang WWE. So we're not gonna let you how to gamble. Hindi kagaya ng iba dyang mga influencers na bahala kayo dyan, magsugal kayo as long as we can give you Gcash or kung ano naman. Yan. So, main event, CM Punk versus CM Punk versus Seth. This might be the most anticipated main event of the century na siguro or decade. Medyo mahirap sabihin ng century, decade lang. So, this might be one of the main events that we are anticipating since last year. So we got it now. The match itself was really good. I think they did everything in the ring. I don't think this will end. At least Punk got his momentum over Seth just in case everything will happen at the Royal Rumble. At least we have this story being told to us. So like what I have on my previous episodes, gusto ko yung pacing ng mga matches ni Punk recently because it feels very straightforward. You just wanted to beat the living shit out of Drew, out of Seth, and we cannot wait to see him more of that kasi definitely parang inang inaabangan mo kay Punk, di ba? Yeah. So that's it for Raw on Netflix. So I think the match was really good. This match that we got is actually a decisive finish. So definitely parang wala na dapat tong kasunod, pero imposibleng wala tong kasunod na magbibigay sa atin ng interest on what might happen next. So abangan na lang natin the next couple of weeks on what will be the surprises that we are trying to get or what we're getting for in replace on this type of matches that we got, no? So in my opinion, compared on episodes last year, I already love this episode of Raw. Kagaya nga nasabi ko, wag nyong ipopromote ng ganito lagi yung Raw, especially if you guys are now on Netflix. Kasi para lang yung AEW Dynamite, mauubos din yung hype. And I mean, everything that we got has meaning, has logic, has storytelling, and yung celebrity and cameos are just bonus. We just have to focus on what we have currently. And also, under simple detailing of what the hell is actually happening in the ring or everything that we got. So WWE is just really good, and we can't give them bad credit on the best things that we are getting, especially with the production. Production is amazing, man. Like what the hell are we getting? So dito pa lang sinasabi ko na mukhang si Trips na naman ang mananalo ng Booker of the Year, and kawawa na naman si kuya mo Tony Khan. Kawawa na naman si Tony Khan sa kanyang banig at kanyang kalokohan on his damn shows. So we're done with WWE. Let's talk about a little bit of New Japan. So I'm not gonna do a full review of New Japan, Wrestle Kingdom, Wrestle Dynasty. Like what I said, konti lang yung napanood ko doon. Hindi ko na pinanood yung Dynasty because that's a full of AEW shit. I'm not interested on looking at that one again. So, summary natin. So, na-retain ni Zack Sabre Jr. Yung Tyros niya on both nights. And I think I liked the match over on night 1 over on Ricochet. Also, Mercedes Moné fucked up Mina Shirakawa for both Rebro Tyros and the Strong Tyro, which means nothing. That means nothing at this point. And apparently, it's been reported by PW Insider, Fightful, and also by The Observer that Chris Charlton has been suspended by New Japan Pro Wrestling because of the takes of him about AEW. So, he is not part of AEW. Yes, let's clarify that for the people. He is part of New Japan Pro Wrestling. Ito yung mas nakakatawa. Tony Khan is actually watching the show over on the Japanese one. I'm glad he's understanding Japanese. Or baka nagkakantutan lang sila ni Dave Meltzer. Tapos, parang ine-explain na lang ni Dave kung ano ba yung mga bagay-bagay na to in Japanese. If he can understand. If he can understand it. But it doesn't matter. That's the point. There are some takes that Charlton said that might irk the AEW side, and it might be a factor why this partnership might sink. Pero we don't get any details of the long kasi di naman confirm accurate yung 2 months na sinabi ni Fightful. We will get you more updates about that on this development na nilabas na katarantaduhan ni Fightful. So, we will give you an update on that. But for now, let's do New Year's Evil. So, I'm not gonna do a blow-by-blow here. Let's do some recap instead. So, Roxanne Perez versus Julia for the NXT Women's Championship. I think this might be the better women's title match over on Ross Liv Morgan versus Rhea Ripley. The match alone is really amazing. We are getting nuts here. The presentation is amazing. Julia is amazing and gorgeous as fuck. And the pure intensity of this feud is just amazing as fuck. Julia just countered everything that Roxanne can do, and I think she might get better of Roxanne if aware na siya next time. Pero may mga bagay din kasi na nagawa si Roxanne on Julia. That's a plus, and she knows what she has to do. Pero I think that it really makes sense to me with Julia winning the title. Definitely, we're not getting any unifications with the North American title because it's dumb to begin with. So, that's it for the match. Also, let's say Stephanie Baker defeated Kelani Jordan, Cora Jade, and Lola Vice for the 4-way. That's a number 1 contendership for the North American title. Lola Vice, speaking of contenderships, also won a battle royale or something sa isang live show, and she is now the number 1 contender for the NXT Women's Championship. We're not sure if it's a canon thing or it's just for the live events, but we will keep you in touch about that detail, and as soon as we have it, we will share that with you also. So, Fatal Influence versus Shotzi, Tatum Paxley, and Gigi Dolin. So, the match was really good. I really love it. Pero, parang ang odd sa akin na nanalo din si Shotzi. Even if we now have a number 1 contender, parang nilologic nila na Shotzi might fight Fallon Henley for the NXT Women's Champion next. And now we have this dispute. So Steph versus Shotzi is going to fight next week for the contendership. So, isa pa. Si Obafemi, di ba tandaan nyo na inatake daw si Eddie Thorpe? It was revealed that he attacked himself to be able to get a title match without actually competing on the Iron Survivor match. And now we got it again with Obafemi actually attacking Eddie Thorpe without this bullshit happening. So that was funny as fuck, and it makes sense also. So Lexis King defeated Charlie Dempsey in a sudden death match for the Heritage Cup title. So that's one fall finish. So that's it for the thing. And the match, I think, was amazing. And also, nag-grow na sa akin si Lexus King as a face. Promise. Ayun. So, we have the three-way Trick Williams, Obafemi versus Eddie Thorpe. Bataw dito. I think this match was overshadowed by the women. I loved the Julia versus Roxanne more. No offense on all of three. Obafemi deserves the title for sure. But like what I said, they really did this presentation better on the women's title match. If we got this women's title match on the main event, this might be a better way to cap off the show. And we got The Rock, yes, na-interrupt because hindi kayang pigilan ni The Rock ang CW. So, he got this 8 minutes promo. 5 minutes lang ata siya nakapagsalita on all of that. And wala naman laman yung promo ni Rock na yun. So, let's keep it as it is. So, that's it for the whole thing. Ang weird kasi nagsisensor pala si CW. We never realized that and never di na tayo surpresa doon for sure. Pero ang ba tawag dito? Parang naririnig natin yung floor director to signal how much time this show is left, and hindi rin siya pwede mag-over, and hindi rin siya nasunod masyado. Pero yun, it's basically the best way to settle this shit The Rock is actually getting. So that's weird to me. So let's continue on AEW Dynamite. I just wanted to skip this shits, man. I swear, but we have to continue. So, AEW Dynamite is live from Clarksville, Tennessee. Sorry guys, na-mute ko yung sarili ko. So, we have a Kenny Omega return. Wala excited at all. Wala talaga siyang excitement para sa akin. Then we have this Casino Gauntlet to determine the number 1 contender for the title at Grand Slam. So, also we have a match between Mark Briscoe versus Bobby Lashley. Then Buddy Matthews versus Will Ospreay. So MJF and Jeff Jarrett. So Will Ospreay defeated Buddy Matthews. So parang actually parang write off na nila si Malachi Black dito. They're trying to write him off on this show. And I wish that Buddy Matthews, I wish that he will be on a big programming in 2025, especially malapit na yung Grand Slam. Then we have Bobby Lashley versus Mark Briscoe. I think this match was really good. That was fun. Then we have the men's Casino Gauntlet for the title contendership. And Will Hobbs actually won the thing. So it really shakes the contendership a little bit, even though we know that he's not winning for sure. Then we have Jeff Jarrett and MJF. and that was dumb as fuck. Then we have this thing, the Death Riders assaulted Cope. I'm getting sleepy because of these storylines, guys. Pasensya na. Then we have the Casino Gauntlet number 1 spot. Willow Nightingale, Chris Stat versus Tony Storm, and Stat won the thing. Pero I wish Tony Storm actually won the thing, but yeah, I know. So we got the final segment here. So Kenny Omega returned, and we still have to continue with the Alpha versus Alpha thing with Konosuke Takeshita, and I'm not that fan of that match. But regardless, I hope this might give us something when it comes to the thing. Matches lang talaga yung kayang i-deliver ng AEW for sure. Pero yeah, let's see what we can do. Let's see what we will get going forward with this type of things that we actually get on the programming. So, yun lang muna. Let's talk about SmackDown real quick here. So, SmackDown is live 3 hours, kagaya ng sabi ko, para akong nasusuya every time we have to deal with this crap. So we have Mia Yim versus Minchin. Mia Yim versus Minchin. Chelsea Green versus Minchin for the US title. I think Chelsea is growing on me when it comes to these segments for sure. And then it's amazing sa totoo lang na sobrang effective ni Chelsea on this reign so far, and it's actually really good. If you're watching this on Netflix, wala talaga siyang commercials. On US lang talaga. Then we have Los Garza versus Pretty Deadly. Hindi pa tayo sure if Los Garzas are really a face. So if they are not faces, then I don't care that much. Then we have Shinsuke Nakamura versus LA Knight for the US title. I think this match was a fun match, not the match that I am expecting from both of them, but the match was really good, so it makes sense also that was a little bit but it is what it is. That was fun. Then we have A-Town Down Under versus Motor City Machine Guns. Still another week, another no pop for MCMG. I hope people can actually cheer Motor City Machine Guns. MCMG are actually amazing, but why we're getting this bullshit? Then we have this promo by Tiffany Stratton, as Tiffany Stratton cashed in her briefcase last week, and she actually got this cash-in moment for the women's title. So we got the number 1 contendership, Naomi, Bianca, Bailey, and Nia Jax. So Bailey won the contendership, so she's set to face Tiffany for the title next week on SmackDown. So medyo magulo pa yung character ni Tiffany dito. Hindi rin siya masyadong nag-heelish this time. Pero I swear, I wish we can get a complete babyface Tiffany for sure. Main event was Jimmy Uso and Cody Rhodes versus Jacob Fatu and Tama Tonga. Medyo tawag dito? Medyo may mga bakas pa ng Bloodline Final Combat, Tribal Combat yung story lang to. So medyo wala na ako ganong pake. Let's focus on Jacob Fatu. Did a really good job on this match. He's amazing as fuck. We got to wait to see more of him sooner than later. The thing here is fine, not really special to me, but I think there are some things that needs to be adjusted also when it comes to these things. So before we move on officially on our Bash Awards 2024, we're going to have our picks of the week. It's back since a year. We're going to have the same format as what I had last year. We'll determine the superstar of the week, the woman of the week, and also the match of the week that I actually liked. Yeah. So, superstar of the week that I actually liked. I will pick actually Kenny Omega and Roman Reigns. So, both of them are my picks this week of this shows, no? Especially Kenny Omega versus Gabe Kidd noon sa Tokyo Dome sa Dynasty. That was really good. Woman of the week is definitely Rhea Ripley. And yung match of the week ko, dalawa. Pasensya na if I need to pick two. That's Gabe Kidd versus Kenny Omega from Dynasty. And Julia versus Roxanne from NXT New Year's Evil. I think that was really good. I think it really makes sense. And also, I think it should be the pick of the week that we got. So, let's continue with the official. Sorry, God. Sorry about that. So let's continue now with the official tradition of the main event mark. That's the 5th installment of the main event Bash Awards 2024. So di na ako mapapatagal. So let's run down the categories. The evaluation period started from January 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024. We also waited until World's End to end. So therefore, we can determine our peaks and we can also execute the adjustments that we had to do when it comes to this Bash Awards. So this thing will go moving forward since this is now the new norm here on the show. And we are now also adjusting on what the living hell are we trying to do when it comes to the Bash Awards 2024. So let's continue with the Bash Awards. So let's start with best crowd. We have 3 nominees here. So we have the ano ba daw dito? We have France, we have Australia, and also we have the crowd sa Berlin. Ang hirap nun. Pero I actually picked the crowd in Bash in France. So that's the Backlash in France, just because that was magical. Start from the SmackDown before that to this show, it's just amazing. Even we got a glorified house show thing on this PLE. The crowd really helped the whole crew, the whole production to be amazing as fuck. So that's a plus for WWE and on how they presented this whole show. It's just amazing as fuck. So wala akong masabi. It's just I think it really justifies the point why we should get more international shows despite of the time difference. But it's amazing to see Backlash getting the appreciation they deserve. So congratulations, France. So let's continue. Best theme song of 2024. So in this category, it should be released in 2024 only. So I have 3 nominees also. So that's ano ba? Jacob Fatu, Roman Reigns, the second team, at saka yung team ni di aabot yung team ni Kenny, so I'm not gonna put that. So yung team ni Mariah May that she is using now, and marami pa akong nominees dito, pero the top thing that in my head is always be the Jacob Fatu's team. It's amazing as fuck. So let's talk about the NXT Special of the Year. So If we talk about specials na we had in all aspects, like the sorry guys, di ko na natackle yung specials ng NXT sa episode natin last time sa tier list. I'll try to do it on a different time. Pero let's focus on the Bash Awards na muna. So NXT Special of the Year goes to, so we have NXT Stand and Deliver. The whole show is amazing, even though there's a setback when it comes to the time. I wish this type of shows will happen again on a separate night compared instead of WrestleMania. Then we have the ano ba tawag dito? We have the most underrated wrestler of the year. It goes to Nia Jax. I love Nia Jax this year. Nia Jax is amazing. She actually went from this worst wrestler of the year to definitely, if not the best, definitely the most unappreciated person into the roster. I know she has still the problems when it comes to promos, but the improvement that she got compared on her last run in WWE is already amazing to me. So medyo hindi ko na nilalaylay yung mga factors why I wanted or I want the moment or the the most unappreciated or underrated goes to Nia Jax. Most overrated of the year, if you guys will agree on this, definitely magkakasundo tayo. So the most overrated wrestler of the year is none other than Jon Moxley 2024. I don't know, but meron debating nagaganap sa utak ko. It's either Jon Moxley or Jericho. Medyo nahihirapan ako if isasama rin ba yung mga members ng Learning Tree. Pero it ends up like Jon Moxley is the most overrated wrestler of the year this year. Because of his presentation, it's horrible as fuck. I'm not giving him a bad credit when it comes to his matches. I think his matches are really good, but the presentation is just out of this world. Na walang makakagawa kundi AEW lang. Walang logic na nangyayari with AEW with these things. It really doesn't make sense to me anymore to not to give him the most overrated wrestler of the year. Rivalry of the year, it's definitely CM Punk and Drew McIntyre. Honorable mention, Hangman versus Swerve. Both of these choices can be favorable to me, but Drew versus Punk led to 2-3 best of the matches ever in the year. It's definitely the most important factor why they won this category. So Swerve versus Hangman, don't get me wrong, I love their feud as well, pero putol-putol kasi, kaya parang nawala siya sa picture at nabuhay ulit pero nawala rin siya sa picture. So I think that should be Punk versus Drew. Rookie of the year. Rookie of the year, when we say Rookie of the year, ito yung mga kakalabas lang sa isang promotion na ang ganda ng pasiklab. So we have 2 picks. So I have one from local, one from international. So local muna tayo. Let's start with Andy Faye. Andy Faye is definitely the one match hit. No, hindi siya hindi ko sasabihin na one hit wonder. One match hit, and definitely she gave us the most impressive debut in my honest opinion sa local wrestling scene. I hope we can see more of that. She is also our Silipin awardee because I think we need to see more of Andy Faye. So Andy Faye, by the way, condolences to you and to your family. At this time, I know you had a heartbreak recently. with the death of your loved ones. Pero I hope you are fine. I hope you're good. And I hope this won't affect the things that you do in wrestling. So, let's continue on what we have on the worst rivalry of the year. It's definitely the Elite versus AEW. From the Bucks turning heel, then we get this ridiculous thing from them until they let Okada join the stable, then fucks up the whole stable. Fucking hell. So that's it. So we have the return of the year. Walang question to. That should be The Rock. The Rock returning on day 1 made a lot of buzz and made a lot of speculations also. So, in my opinion, this return last year is actually impressive. And dagdag pa natin si Jinder. Jinder did a really good job also on helping this feud with The Rock as well. And then we have the debut of the year. So we have 2 picks also with this thing. So I have here Jordynne Grace. I think Jordynne Grace deserves more love when it comes to this. And I think she did a really good job on this matches. Also Wyatt 6. I'm going to acknowledge Wyatt 6 because of how they got presented. This amazing presentation Wyatt 6 got from the WWE, and everything that we got from Wyatt 6 so far, it's just amazing to me that we are getting everything from the Wyatt 6. So yes, it's amazing. Yes, it's actually really good. So yeah, so yun lang muna ang ating part 1 of our Bash Awards 2024. We're going to do some time travel, and then we will share with you guys the more categories when we come back here on the PWPH, the main event mark Bash Awards. So for now, let's do some time travel. I'm back from the time travel. Sorry for the late release of the show. So let's continue on what we left out. So, napansin nyo naman previous episode natin na medyo okay ako. Ayan, so may inayos kasi akong detail about the Bash Awards. May inayos akong ilang details doon. Kaya pasensya na, dinelay ko ng konti. Why we are delaying the episode. So, again, this is the Main Event Mark Podcast. Let's continue now with some categories that we have here on the show. Ito. So, we have here the Gago Ka Ba moment of the year. So, where everyone is reacting, everyone is thinking, what in the hell is happening with this particular storyline or company that we have to address. So, in this category, ganyan, parang hindi na siya yung storyline na mabibwisit ka. It's more on a realistic situation that might affect in the long-term situation of this type of scenario. So, in this case, our Gago Ka Ba moment of the year goes to definitely the Death Riders. Why I pick Death Riders? Yung Death Riders kasi, based on what I think, their storyline just sucks. The direction of the storytelling, it's not on point. They could not tell how the direction should go. Wala silang pakialam on how this story will go. Wala rin silang pakialam on how this might be continued. Wala silang pake as in on how this thing might go. They are just caring that AEW just paid $1 billion of their rights to air all of their shows on TNT, TBS, on Max. As long as they have that, wala na silang pake. It's just like Vince McMahon. Vince McMahon is covering himself with money from Fox, from USA, from Saudi, and now he will never get the money that he got from Netflix on the product. So that's why we have the Kagwaba goes to Death Riders. So moment of the year of these categories, medyo mahirap ito, no? So moment of the year, definitely marami akong napili dito pero I'm picking one thing is for sure, that's Cody Rhodes finishing his story. Definitely one of my favorite moments of the year, and storyline wise, he really deserves it. Let's continue. Entrance of the year. Entrance of the year was a little bit subjective when it comes to how we prefer entrances, but I always liked Roman Reigns' entrance at WrestleMania 40. That was really good. Pero I can also pick the entrance ni AJ during Backlash France, or yung Money in the Bank. Backlash din kay Orton. Those three. Then let's continue. So, Sleeping Awardee. So, this one, we have this category, Love at First Sight. And I hope we can see more of them soon. With this one, we have two picks. One is from local, one is from international pick. So, number one, local pick ko is Andy Faye from Puso Wrestling. I think Andy gave me a first impression. Ang ganda ng first impression niya sa akin. On the time that she made her debut, may mga matches na rin siya sa live streams. Sa live stream ni Fabio, and this one specifically with Pusong Pinoy during the gauntlet match. I think she showed how she can work, how she can be a potential big heel on Puso Wrestling. Pero bitin pa ako doon. I admit, bitin pa ako doon sa napakita niya ng Puso. Kasi hindi siya tumagal. And also, on the spot debut ito. So, syempre, parang labat first sight nga, diba? So, I wish that Puso can give us more of Andy Faye. And definitely, I hope we can get more of that anytime soon on their upcoming shows and events. Especially in Dexcon. Also, kasi affiliated naman sila with Dexcon. So, I wish we can get more of that anytime soon. So, the international pick ko is definitely Willow Nightingale and Julia. Both of them are amazing. We just need a better booker to book them better. And Julia, I'm glad she's now the NXT Women's Champion and she's gorgeous as fuck. I think they really deserve the pick for both of the respective categories of those events. So, continue natin. Booker of the Year. I know everyone will be shocked, or will not be shocked on this pick. So, Booker of the Year is definitely Triple H. Triple H knows his role in wrestling. If alam niya din na hindi mag-workout ito on a long term or for the company itself, he will not push into it. Alam niya kung paano mag-pursue ng mga push, alam niya mag-pursue ng mga bagay-bagay. So that's why Triple H is working on May. Tony Khan, in the other hand, I don't think his shit is working right now. He's trying to do desperate things, dick-sucking Dave Meltzer every day in the morning, afternoon, evening. As long as he will be satisfied on his feelings and 5 stars that he is getting from him every day, masaya na siya. Pero landslide, Triple H for Booker of the Year. Company of the Year, definitely WWE. Then obvious naman na yun, Weekly Show of the Year. This is a little bit subjective also, pero mas majority kasi na nagugustuhan ko sa podcast this 2024 or last 2024 was NXT. So my choice is NXT. If you prefer the main roster shows, you're good. But I have NXT. I'm not gonna pick any Dynamite or Collision show. Some of them are garbage, let's face it. Okay, so worst weekly show, definitely AEW Collision. It's just Rampage. Just Rampage now. Heel of the year and baby face of the year. So we have 2 picks there. So Cody Rhodes is my men's baby face of the year. Willow Nightingale is the woman. Heel of the year. A little bit subjective again. Drew McIntyre and Dominic Mysterio. Sa woman, I can pick Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan is really good on her role. She is annoying. If you are getting annoyed by Liv, it works. Okay, stable of the year. A little bit subjective also. That's the New Judgment Day. Or the Bloodline. But I am leaning the Bloodline. New Bloodline is just amazing. We got the best of the best within 6 months as him. It's just amazing to me. Local wrestling show of the year. This is based on everything that we watched in 2024. Live and video on demand. So, local wrestling show of the year is definitely Dexcon Decada. Wala po itong bias, guys, para lang sa kaalaman nyo. Ito po, definitely Dexcon Decada. Masakit na nawala ang MWF, lalo sa akin. Pero, pucha, they gave us a lot of memories with this event. They gave me a lot of memories with this event. That's why Dexcon, maraming salamat sa opportunity na nakapag-sponsor ako ng naging part ako ng Dexcon Decada as a media partner of Dexcon, and we will take cherish of that. So, big opportunity yon para sa akin kasi event yon where Zack Sabre Jr. competed here in the Philippines. So, pwede ko i-flex yun. Tangin na. Okay. So, pay-per-view of the year is a little bit hard for me. So, I picked 3. So, I have here WrestleMania 40. Doon pa lang sa mga moments na pinagsasabi natin all throughout this whole episode. It's just panalo na agad. Then, we have Revolution. This might be the last AEW show that I think sobrang consistent ang booking. And Backlash France, definitely. The crowd alone and the booking. I know the booking is a little bit pero the show was amazing overall, and it's better because of the crowd. So, ito medyo mga critical na category na tayo with this Bash Awards 2024. We have the Philippine Wrestling Match of the Year. You guys know, I watched this personally live. So, para sa akin, sobrang landslide ng pick na to. Sobrang majority ng pick na to. But, the Philippine Wrestling Match of the Year goes to Zack Sabre Jr. versus Jake De Leon from Dexcon Decada. Guys, trust me, you need to watch this match. For $175 a month, you really need to watch this. Buong period to. If you have the VOD, you can watch it there. $175 lang, guys. Sobrang sulit. You have to watch it, guys. No regrets. Then, we have 3 matches of the year for this. Ang hirap kasi. So, no particular order. I have here CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre from Blood. Hell in a Cell. That was really good. And then we have also the Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson at Dynasty. Then Cody Rhodes versus Roman Reigns, Bloodline Rules from WrestleMania 40. Yan, tatlong picks of the year ko. I know this is very subjective. You guys might hate AEW picks, but that was really good. So, let's continue with our major categories. So, Philippine Wrestler of the Year. I know this is very subjective, guys, pero May Philippine Wrestler of the Year. Tatlo. Pwede akong mamili ng tatlo. Number 1, no particular order again, Mike Madrigal. Mike Madrigal showed that he is definitely one of the best champions in the Philippine scene. And Mike Madrigal, despite of the defenses that he currently has on their show, he is amazing as champion. And he, I think, deserves it. So, number 2, she definitely Joya. Si Joya kasi parang, alam mo yun, naputok niya ng 2024 yung buong potential na. I wish we could see more of Joya. Then, final pick, Main Max. Main Max definitely shined in 2024. Lalo na last year, prior to that. He and his story showed. And para sa kanya, landslide na kung tutusin, Main Max. I decided just to pick 2 more just for the sake of me picking. But yeah, that's Main Max, Joya, and Mike Madrigal. Ayun. So, tag team of the year, we have here 2 picks. One for the men, one for the women. So, obviously, I'm gonna pick Fraction. Kasi konti lang naman yung pwede mag-qualify or deserving dito this year. So, definitely, Fraxium is one of them. What the fuck is happening here, guys? Bear with me. Ayun. Di na nagbubuhay yung power bank ko. What the fuck? Ayun. So, that's one of my picks. So, Fraxium, definitely, one of my favorite tag teams this year was Fraxium. And sobrang sikip kasi nung category na to. So medyo nahirapan akong pumili. So I have no choice. Fraxium Tag Team of the Year. So continue with that. So the next one is the women's side of things. So I have here my pick. Bianca and Jade. I always loved Bianca and Jade. Their energy, their charisma, their presentation is just amazing. And especially championship wise, Bianca and Jade definitely deserves this award. No. Next one, female wrestler of the year. I know these people might be shaking right now because I picked the most deserving one in my opinion. So, female wrestler of the year. This is tough because there's a lot of women that shined in 2024. From Mercedes, from Roxanne, from Liv to Rhea Ripley. But my pick when it comes to the female wrestler of the year, it should be Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan actually prove herself. Nag-prove din siya kasi she might kill it or destroy it. That's I think what we have. And Liv Morgan didn't wasted her time with this opportunity that we had with Liv. So definitely para sa akin win-win ito, no? Liv Morgan, Woman of the Year. Male wrestler of the year. This is a little bit subjective again. So I know guys, this is going to be subjective ulit. So male wrestler of the year is definitely Cody Rhodes. From finishing his story, showing us that he deserves it, definitely Cody ito. Yun. So para sa akin, there's a lot of things to say about Cody, but Cody definitely deserves to be the male wrestler of the year. So that's my picks for the Bash Awards 2024. Let me know what you think on this whole series of the Bash Awards 2024, and we will return again for wrestling this I think Saturday. I'll drop again a new episode. Ayun, I hope you guys can enjoy these 2 episodes of the Bash Awards. And again, follow the podcast on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, kung saan pa, at the Main Event Mark PW. Please support the pod on Patreon, patreon.com/Main Event Mark PW. And please vote for the PWPH Awards at bit.ly/2024 PWPH Awards. Also, paki-follow din ng PWPH on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, X, Instagram, at sa Patreon, at PWPH. So, that's it for me here on the show. Again, my name is Angelo Penera. We will see you on Saturday for yet another new episode of the Main Event Mark Pod. For now, bye for now. Stay safe and stay wrestle where you have to go for now. Bye for now.